Greetings everyone. I have my usual three topics I'd like to cover in this week's video. So first of all, I'd like to talk just a little bit about our work this last week on the assignment on experimental designs and threats to validity. I've read all of your reports that you've posted at this point, and I've just started anyway, reading your comments to one another. As is my usual custom, by Friday I will have completed all of your comments to one another, and will have posted individual feedback in your grade center, as well as a score for this assignment. I've already posted my general feedback comments again this week. You can find those in the feedback folder in the Module 3 tab. Those comments are based upon my reading of your reports and upon what I've read thus far in your replies to one another. Let me caution you again this week, and I apologize, but my comments tend to be a little bit extensive again this week, and some of you may say over the top, but again, my intent with providing those comments is to, first of all, just maybe do a real quick review of a couple pieces of information, but then also expand upon some of the content that we've found in Patton, and I think that will provide you with a pretty good outline anyway of what I would really like you to be able to understand about experimental designs and in this particular assignment on threats to validity. So again, I apologize for the length of my comments, but again, as I said in the past and tend to repeat, print those out, hang on to those for reference. They will help you as you put together your mock research project. Okay, before moving on to another topic, though, let me make just a couple general comments about your reports from this week. First of all, I think everyone did a really good job of identifying an interesting study to evaluate, and everyone really did a good job of applying the evaluative questions to take a look at evaluating their individual study. And so I was really pleased with the work that I've seen that you've put into this last week's work. The reports, I think there's some really interesting studies, and it seems to me that a number of those are related to your mock research project ideas, and that's a good way to proceed at this point. So I really would like to use this assignment anyway this last week to get you used to really looking for and identifying a research question, a specific kind of study design, and then also in looking to make sure that everything is consistent and aligned between the kind of question that's being asked, the design that's been implemented to answer that question, and we want to make sure everything flows together. And so the more you can look at studies and apply these kinds of questions, the easier it's going to be for you to identify that. Don't worry if you didn't get everything right this first time. We're all practicing, and like I've said with APA formatting, practice does make perfect, and so we will have opportunities to evaluate studies a little bit further the deeper we get into this course. This last assignment also was one of the times that we get to begin applying what we've been learning in this class. And so I hope that's been useful to you, and my best hope for you is that you've been able to find a study that's interesting to you this last week, and that you're beginning to think about alignment of research questions and designs and those kinds of things. So good work this last week. I would make one comment about APA formatting. Again this week, I can see that many of you are taking to heart the comments that I put to you individually in your grade centers about APA formatting. There's a few little tiny things that we'll address in APA formatting, and I've talked a little bit about that in my general feedback comments, and any other specifics I'll provide to you in your individual grade center. So make sure you take a look at those this next week then. Okay, probably enough said about last week. Second thing then is this week we're in the throes, if you will, of working together with a small group to identify and then evaluate an experimental study again. We're going to go into a little more depth this week in our evaluations, and I think that's okay because it helps to kind of expand upon what we've done this last week. Plus, you'll be working with a small group, and you can divide up the responsibilities just a little bit more then. So many of you have already checked in to your small groups. If you've not yet, make sure you do that. Follow the group link in our Blackboard that you'll see on the left side of the page. open, and then you go to your group homepage where you'll find the instructions for this group assignment. And then also then you have a group discussion board that you'll be able to access that you can use and add threads to the discussion board forum that's been created for you to introduce yourselves, plan your work, and then get started with your project. Remember, an experimental study again, and everyone did a great job of finding experimental studies this last week. Experimental study is one that manipulates a variable and looks for cause and effect relationships. Two kinds of experimental studies that we really want to concentrate on: true experimental and quasi-experimental studies. Take a look at the research typology that we put together for this class. It will help you kind of look at the definitions of those studies, plus some of the comments that I've made over past, the general feedback comments anyway, from past weeks anyway. I think will get you started in the right direction. Please note that in order to finish this next week's assignment, you'll be working together in Google Docs to write your group report. You should have already received a link from me in your Loper Mail account for your Google Doc. Make sure you follow that link. Make sure you can open that link. That's going to be important for you to be able to be in that document with your classmates to be able to write your report. We're using Google Docs because it's really a good way for you to write collaboratively, to save your work, and to work together. There's some other tools in Google Docs that you can explore if you like as well. The best way to learn Google Docs is to get in and just start working with them anyway. If you've not worked with Google Docs yet, don't worry. It's pretty self-explanatory. Again, if you run into any issues, as I've said before with Google Docs, let me know. But make sure at this point that you've followed that link and to make sure that that's open to you and it's in your Loper Mail account. So enough said about Google Docs right now. One other thing about this assignment is remember that as part of the assignment, once you get your group together, your group then will write the report in Google Docs, assign someone within your group then to transfer that document to the group discussion board in our Module 3 tab, because that's where you're going to be able to read other groups' reports then. So once that's done, one last thing, we're asking you to kind of assess your own performance and the performance of your fellow group members on this particular assignment. I can follow a number of things through the Blackboard sites, through Google Docs, etc. But I can't see everything, and so and maybe that's good in a lot of ways. So I really need to assess, and one of the things we try to do is to be good at self-assessing what we're doing, and then let us know how the groups have come together. There is a rubric that I'm asking you to complete that measures or assesses, if you will, your own assessments of your progress and other people in your group. Please make sure you do that. That's part of the assignment. You can find that rubric in several places. I put it in multiple places in Blackboard, so it's easily accessible. You can find it in your group homepage instructions. There's a link directly to it. There's also a link in the Course Documents tab in Blackboard, and then also in the Assignments folder in the Module 3 tab. So you should be able to find that without any problem at all. Again, let me know if you run into issues with that, though, for sure. Okay, probably enough said about this next week's assignment then. To best wishes with your groups, and again, let me know if I can be helpful to you in any way. So finally, to close out this video, my question for every week is repeated again. How are you doing with the mock research project? Hopefully you're coming along, you've identified your topic, you've at least begun to think about putting together a list, if you will, or a way to begin your literature review for that project. Okay, take care everyone, and have a great week.